You do it every day. You don't think about it. It feels completely normal. Your dog doesn't bark, doesn't run away, doesn't show any obvious sign of distress. But 6 things that are completely routine in most homes are actively hurting your dog. Physically, psychologically, or both. And number 3 is the one almost every owner does without even realizing it's a problem. This isn't about blame. You love your dog. That's why you're here. But love without knowledge can cause harm without intention. And some of the things that feel the most loving, the hug, the raised voice that shows you care, the walk you make time for every single day, are the exact things this video is about. By the end of this, you'll see your dog's daily experience completely differently. And you'll have 6 specific things you can change starting today. 1. Hugging. This one shocks people more than any other. Hugging is love. It is one of the most human expressions of affection that exists. When you love someone, you hold them. When a child is upset, you wrap your arms around them. When a friend is in pain, you pull them close. Hugging means safety. Hugging means I've got you. So when your dog sits beside you and you wrap your arms around them and pull them in, that feels like the most natural thing in the world. But here's what's happening inside your dog's body in that moment. Dogs are not built for restraint. In dog language, having your movement restricted, being held in place, being unable to step away, is not comfort. It is a threat posture. It is what happens right before a conflict escalates. It is what a predator does to prey. When you hug your dog, their nervous system doesn't receive the message you're sending. It receives. Movement is restricted. Escape is not available. Threat assessment required. Cortisol rises. Muscles stiffen. The dog goes very still. Most owners read that stillness as contentment. That's my dog. They love this. What you are actually seeing is conflict suppression. Your dog is tolerating the experience, enduring it, because they love you and because they have learned that this is what happens sometimes with this person who keeps them safe and fed and warm. They're choosing the relationship over their own discomfort. Every time. A study by dog behavior researcher Dr. Stanley Coren analyzed photographs of people hugging their dogs and found signs of stress in over 80% of the dogs. Lip licking, ears back, whites of eyes showing, head turned away. 80%. In photos people posted because they thought their dog was happy. The alternative isn't keeping your distance. It's learning how your dog actually wants closeness. Dogs show affection by leaning, pressing their body weight gently against yours, by resting their head on your leg, by lying close enough to touch. These are choices they're making. These are your dog saying I want to be near you right now on their own terms. Let them choose the contact. You'll be surprised how much more of it they offer. 2. Yelling when they do something wrong. Your dog knocks something over, steals food from the counter, has an accident inside, and you raise your voice. Feels like communication. You're demonstrating that this behavior is unacceptable. You're giving feedback. Any reasonable creature should understand what a raised voice directed at them in response to their behavior means. But your dog is not processing language. They are not receiving a lesson about the specific behavior. Their brain doesn't work that way. Here is what your dog actually experiences when you yell at them. The person who is the center of their entire world, the source of food, safety, warmth, play, and belonging, has suddenly transformed into a source of threat. Their amygdala fires. Cortisol floods their system. Their heart rate spikes. Their muscles brace. They're not thinking, I should not do that thing I just did. They're thinking, something is very wrong with the safest person in my life and I don't know why or what to do. The behavior you see after, the cowering, the ears back, the tail low, that's not guilt. That's not acknowledgement of wrongdoing. That's a fear response to a perceived threat from someone they love. It looks like remorse because it looks like distress. It is distress. But it's not connected to the action. It's connected to you. And every time this happens, a tiny fracture forms in your dog's trust. They learn that you are unpredictable. That calmness can turn to danger without warning. That they need to monitor your emotional state constantly in case it happens again. Over months and years, this creates dogs who are anxious, hypervigilant, and conflict avoidant. Dogs who seem perfectly behaved but are actually just managing their fear of triggering the storm. The replacement behavior is simple in theory and takes practice to execute. When your dog does something wrong, interrupt calmly. Use a neutral sound, not an angry voice. Redirect to what you want them to do instead. When they do it, reward. Not because you're letting bad behavior go, but because you're teaching rather than punishing. Teaching builds behavior. Punishment builds fear. 3. Inconsistent rules. This is the one. This is the one that almost every owner does and almost no one knows is a problem. On the couch Monday because you're in a good mood. Off the couch Tuesday because you have clean clothes on. Jumping up greeted with laughter when you come home excited. Jumping up met with irritation when you come home tired. It seems minor. Rules bend. Life is flexible. You're not running a military operation. But here is what inconsistency does to your dog's brain. Dogs are pattern recognition machines. Their entire survival historically depended on accurately predicting what came next. What was safe, what was dangerous, what sequence of events led to good outcomes and which led to bad ones. They are exceptionally good at learning rules. What they cannot do is learn rules that keep changing. When the rules shift based on your emotional state, and they almost always do because you're human, your dog cannot build a reliable model of what is safe. Every interaction requires a new assessment. Is today a couch day or not? Is jumping allowed right now or not? They scan your face, your posture, your voice for clues. They're doing this constantly. This state of constant uncertainty is not neutral. It is chronically stressful. Low-level, invisible, uninterrupted stress that accumulates over months and years into behavioral problems, anxiety disorders, and health consequences. The solution is not rigidity. You don't need a rule book. You need consistency. Pick the rules that work for your life and hold them regardless of your mood. Not because your dog deserves discipline, because your dog deserves to know what to expect. Predictability is safety. Safety is love. 4. Not enough smell time on walks. You take your dog for a 30-minute walk. You keep a good pace because you want to make sure they get proper exercise. You come home, they seem fine, you've done your job. But consider this. Your dog's nose contains approximately 300 million olfactory receptors. Yours contains about 6 million. The part of your dog's brain dedicated to analyzing smells is, proportionally, 40 times greater than the equivalent part of yours. Your dog does not primarily experience the world through their eyes the way you do. They experience it through their nose. Every patch of ground is a newspaper. Every lamppost is a message board. Every other dog that passed in the last 12 hours left a detailed account of their health, emotional state, sex, age, and recent activities encoded in scent that your dog can read like text. A walk where you keep moving, where every time your dog stops to investigate something you tug them along, is the equivalent of someone walking you through an art gallery at a jog with their hand over your eyes. The exercise happens. The enrichment doesn't. Mental stimulation tires dogs out more effectively than physical exercise. A dog who has spent 20 minutes genuinely sniffing, processing, decoding, building a picture of their environment, is more settled, more relaxed, and more satisfied than a dog who ran for an hour on a treadmill. The change is simple. On at least some of your walks, not all of them, just some, let your dog lead. Let them stop when they want to stop. Let them read what's there. 5 minutes of real olfactory engagement does more for your dog's nervous system than half an hour of pace walking. Costs you almost nothing. It gives them everything. 5. Leaving them alone without preparation. Dogs are not solitary animals. They are pack animals who evolved over tens of thousands of years to be in continuous proximity to their group. Aloneness, for a dog, is not a neutral state. It is a threat state. Their nervous system is designed to interpret separation as danger. Most owners accept the idea that dogs are fine alone, that they just sleep while you're at work, that they're not stressed, that they've adapted. Research tells a different story. Studies using physiological monitoring on dogs during owner absence show that many dogs who appear behaviorally calm are in a state of sustained stress, elevated cortisol, elevated heart rate, disrupted sleep cycles. They're not relaxed. They're coping. They're waiting. And the repeated cycle of separation and reunion, day after day, year after year, takes a measurable toll on their health and their nervous system. This doesn't mean you can never leave your dog alone. Life requires it. But it does mean that how you leave matters enormously. Dogs are exceptional at reading patterns. They learn your departure sequence, keys, jacket, bag, and their stress begins to rise before you're even out the door. The anticipation of separation is often as stressful as the separation itself. The most effective intervention is building a consistent departure ritual. The same sequence, every time, that you deliberately pair with your return. Not by saying goodbye at length. Long emotional goodbyes escalate anxiety, but by creating a calm, predictable signal that has always ended with you coming back. A specific phrase. A specific treat. Something that means you always come home. Over time, that signal shifts from triggering dread to triggering something closer to patience. It won't eliminate the stress entirely, but it will change its shape. 6. Forcing interaction with strangers or other dogs. Your neighbor reaches toward your dog. Your dog takes a step back. You say it's okay, they're friendly, and you guide your dog forward. Your friend's dog rushes up to yours. Your dog stiffens. You say play, go on, it's fine, and watch to see if they work it out. In both situations, your intention is socialization. Normalizing interaction. Helping your dog learn that the world is safe. But here is what you have actually communicated to your dog. When your dog gave you a signal, I am uncomfortable, I need space, I am not ready for this, and you overrode it, you told them, your signals don't work. When you tell me you're uncomfortable, nothing changes. You are on your own. A dog who learns this stops using early warning signals. The subtle communication, the step back, the look away, the stiff body, those behaviors disappear because they've been proven ineffective. What remains are the later stage signals. The growl, the snap, the bite. This is where the majority of dog bites come from. Not from aggressive dogs. From dogs who spent months or years learning that no one listened when they tried to communicate in the quiet ways, so they had no choice but the loud ones. The single most important thing you can do in these moments is this. When your dog moves away from something, move with them. Put yourself between them and the source of discomfort. Tell the world, by your actions, that you have heard them and that you will handle it. That message, I will protect you when you tell me you need it, is the foundation of trust between a dog and their owner. And once that trust exists, most dogs become more confident around strangers and other dogs over time. Not because they were forced through it, but because they knew someone had their back. None of these make you a bad owner. They make you a normal one. No one teaches you this. You weren't given a manual. You learn to care for dogs from people who also weren't taught, and they learn from people before them, in a chain that stretches back through generations of well-meaning people doing their genuine best. You love your dog. That's real. That's the foundation. Now you have 6 more tools to build something worthy of it.